Hey everybody, Tony with Cardboard Wars here. I haven't done any gaming over the past couple of weeks because I finally reached a point where the Norwegian army counters were so blurry that I was having a hard time making out what unit they were. So I decided to redo them and uh, I was converting them from one format to another smaller format in order to save space or keep the file as small as possible. And I discovered that during that process was why they were getting blurry. So I went through and I kept the original format, pulled them into the module, and they look much sharper now. But I got rid of their blurry counterparts in order to, again, save space in the file. And when I went to play turn 4, I've discovered that the Norwegian army was gone. So, since I don't have any idea what unit was where, or even what units were on the board anymore, I'm going to have to start over from the beginning. I'm not really thrilled about it because I've been doing this over and over and over again. And I think that this playtest is just about, I think everything is almost ready to go. I'm also spending time putting the scenarios together. But I'm going to give it one more try. And if this game gets interrupted for some reason, I'm just going to move on to something else. One of the other things that I've been adding is over here on the edges of the map, I've been adding counters to the map to show the entry hexes for the off-map holding boxes. And over here we have the Silt Air Base. So I'm going to give this one more shot, and I apologize for having to start this over. This is something that has just been going on and on and on. So I'm going to try to push through, and I'm going to try to not make any changes to it that will impact the game. But since I'm starting over, I'm also making some adjustments to the strategy. Like here at Narvik, instead of sending 2 full regiments, I'm only sending 1 of the stripped down regiments. And they all get through without the Royal Navy catching them. And let's see. We'll quickly capture this. And that in there. And that there. So we have 1 regiment of the 3rd Mountain Division in Narvik. We have the 236th Regiment for the 69th Infantry Division, and the 69th Infantry Division is going to be spread all over the map. And then we have the 139th Regiment of the 3rd Mountain Division that is not stripped down. This is a fully equipped regiment slipping into Trondheim. A lot of 1s and 2s, but they all make it. And our expanded breakdown chart. We'll put that in there. This over here. The 236th also slides in here. Send it over to Bergen, where we have the 193rd Regiment of the 69th Infantry Division. And you can see that the Norwegian counters here, the unit IDs, are much clearer than they were, although I'm still not a fan of the color scheme. It doesn't really stand out all that well, but it is more readable than it was. So from the bottom, from the 3rd on up, so the 2nd, and it's always Trondheim or Bergen. Always one of them gets hit. At least every time that I've played it. Open this up. Sunken transit. It is 2 points for the Allies. And then over here to Oslo area. These 2 regiments are going to slip into Drammen here, and their ultimate goal is to capture this airfield. This battalion is going to land at Moss, and its objective is to capture this artillery store. And they all make it. So now that these have been landed, we now move on. I'm going to move this battalion up here to capture that artillery store. These 2 are going to move along this road using their 2 movement points to capture this airfield and another artillery store. The Gladiator fighter rolls a 6 and is destroyed on the ground. We'll put that in the air units eliminated. Allied air units eliminated. So what this does now is my transports and my bombers, primarily my transports, can now fly in this area without any issues, no interference whatsoever. We have all of our air units down here ready to go. This group is coming from Silt, and they are long-range float planes. They are going to be dropping supply here at Bergen. And that was another issue that I had in the last game, was that I was running them out of supply. This group here, come on, is going to be flying to jump on Sola Air Station, hopefully. There is fog in the area, so they may have issues actually jumping. And then this crew here is going to be flying along and hopefully landing at the air station. Oh, wait a second, there's this one here. That should actually go there. And this group of transports are going to be landing there with this battalion so that the entire regiment can form. So this group since it's not going to let me scroll, this group is going to be flying up here to drop supply. And one of the things, though, that the rules are very unclear on is that I have 3 different transports with different ranges. One of a range of 30, one of a range of 35, and one of a range of 20. Let me So flying from Kiel from there to there, from Kiel to here is 20 hexes. So anywhere beyond this, that air unit is required to fly at extended range. But flying to somewhere like to drop supply on that particular battalion, you have one that has to fly at extended range, but you have 2 that don't. And it's really a question of, okay, so can I use 3 air units to fly supply in, or what is the deal? Do I need to have 2 of the Ju-52s and 2 of the others? I mean, that in itself would kind of make sense. But it's just one of those questions that, the rules are really kind of blurry. So I think that for now, I'm just going to leave them be and not have them fly anywhere. Let's put those back in Kiel. Let me zoom in a little bit. Kiel is right there. We'll put these back here. We will figure that out later. So everything is pretty much going to be flying at extended range for the beginning of the turn. Let me measure from Kiel. 423. So we can fly the Ju-88s. Let me get over here. Ju-88. Let's check the range too. Come on, we're almost there. 28. So we can fly the Ju-88s to there, Oslo. That is, if we can get it on the map. And then the HA-111s here are going to be flying at extended range. And the reason I'm bombing here at Oslo is to try to prevent the King's Guard from counterattacking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So we will fly to here and attack these groups. So first we will start with the air drops on Sola. And the fog is so bad that none of them can drop. So they're just going to return back to here. This group is going to go all the way back to Kiel. And I'm not going to stack them up in Kiel. I'm just going to put them around it. So these float planes drop the supply there. And let me do a quick rule check on this. So a quick check of the rules, and dropping supplies at Bergen at this moment is not permissible. So we will just readjust and say they drop it here. You cannot airdrop supplies into a hex that was not previously controlled by you. So, for example, this hex here is currently controlled. The last ones to control it were the Norwegians. So, since I just moved in, I can't make an airdrop there. So, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. Okay, so they can land at Aalborg. 1, 2, 21. So 7 points of bombing on the King's Guard, and that's a hit. So they have successfully disrupted the King's Guard in Oslo. So we will flip that over. They are currently disrupted, and that means that they cannot counterattack here. So we will send these back to Germany. And then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. So 18. So they're attacking at 6. 4 is a hit there, and 1, they miss. So actually we have 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. rest of these as soon as I get them all stacked up. That is disrupted. That's just quicker. We will move these air units down to Copenhagen, or Kiobenhagen. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I know in America it's pronounced Copenhagen. So these have all landed. Now we do the retreat. So the 5th Brigade headquarters, 1, they choose to stand and fight. This unit here also chooses to stand and fight. And it looks like one of these got away from me. Now certainly they are going to be destroyed. But they are preventing the advance on this airfield, which has got to be done quickly. This unit stands and fights. The headquarters retreats. So, in a very unusual variant of the game, the Norwegians are holding their ports and they are going to stand and fight the Germans. So we will go ahead and this combat here is going to be a 2-to-1. Looks like rough and rough I don't think has no effect on combat. So we're at 2-to-1. And so far this thing's been rolling pretty low, but it rolls a 6 for 2-to-1, and that is a defender retreat. So the Germans capture Bergen, and here we have 18-3 or 6-to-1 odds. Woods, I don't think has any effect. Ooh, and we have a 1. Game chart. A 1 is a defender retreat, but the Woods has no effect. What do we have here? So both of these units retreat. They surrender the trucks and say you have to retreat. Sorry, I got preoccupied there. The airfield is safe for now because by standing their ground, these units I don't think can advance. So we're going to here at the artillery store, these 3 units, 1, 2, and 3 of the 159th, we're going to quickly reassemble into the regiment. To avoid any issues whatsoever. So after the initial landings, here's where the Germans stand. They have captured an airfield for Nebu. If this were tilted correctly, it would be just a little to the northeast of Oslo. They failed to capture Sola Air Station over here. Where is my mouse? And I can see it moving, I think. I think it just died. Yep, my mouse batteries died. That's about my kind of typical luck. But we have landed at and controlled Narvik. We have landed at Trondheim. And while the city is controlled, the airfield is not. And that is the primary point of sending a couple of the strongest regiments that I have. Is that I can make a quick strike towards that. Through combat, they forced the Norwegians out. Bergen, they forced the Norwegians out. Surprisingly, I was not expecting that. So now we begin with the follow-up wave, which cannot make opposed landings. So the purpose of disrupting this unit here was to prevent it from counterattacking. So the Norwegians cannot counterattack from the north or the south. So moving over to prepare for the follow-up wave, which cannot move. I am moving both of the 14-4 artillery regiments, which are 4 battalions each. And both are going to land at Drammen. And then we are moving 2 regiments of the 214th Division in to land at Moss. And then here we have supplies and 3 more regiments ready to move in immediately afterwards. So again, they have to go through the anti-shipping. And now all of a sudden it's going to start rolling high. So that one's been destroyed, and this regiment can never reform. Whenever I play this game, it always seems the die roller will let everything through until I start getting to my 14-4s, or I'm landing at Bergen or Trondheim. And then all of a sudden, bang, it will start taking out my 14-4s. As you can see, as you bear witness to. That one was awfully close. So the heaviest of my artillery units have been cut down, losing 3 battalions, almost a complete regiment. And that one sunk. So these units are landing at the 335th. We're going to put in as a complete regiment. The 335th. But the Allies have really racked up some major points, because that's 4 that have been lost. 4, so that's 8 points. Oops. and that takes them to 10. And that was during the campaign. During this time, I believe that the Polish submarine Orzel was active in this area. And it must have been really active this turn, taking down as much as it did. Come on. Sunken transit. So that is pretty much it for the German turn. I did not get as much as I wanted, as much as I had hoped for. 14 battalions shipped across, 4 of them sunk. That is 2 out of every 7. That's what, a rate of 14%, 28%? That's 14%. Something like that. So, the Germans have landed. Now I've got to decide what to do for the Norwegians. With the Kingsguard being disrupted, they may just have to bolt on out of there and just abandon southern Norway and again go with the strategy of blocking off the road to Trondheim. So we'll see what happens.